Please shut the doors.
Oh, bye. Love you too. This other bill for the nonprofit will go next week, and should get paid on that one pretty quick too. Won't be a whole lot, but.
Good morning, team. What's up, traders? What did you guys do to the market? What happened? I look away for a couple minutes and someone broke it. Yeah, definitely rejection of that previous day high hard. So ES and NQ both dropped big time. ES is kind of close to its previous day low. NQ didn't quite get down there. Yeah, I know there was some news this morning, so that must have been it. We do have a couple more things of news. 9:45, we have services PMI. Trump is speaking at 10 o'clock. That's never fun. And then we have more PMI info at 10 o'clock. Lots of stuff going on today. Well, thoughts. I was kind of hoping that it would stay above this 530 level, but the last resort is really down at this 25,330. So if it comes down at the open and holds this previous day low level, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a long, but definitely going to stay cautious with that big drop from the news. I don't like that. And it's below all of yesterday's levels in terms of like the fair value. So that news made it a little bit bearish. We shall see what the open brings. It'll be interesting to see if we retrace that news candle and it just jumps back up and breaks through previous day high, or if the momentum from the news continues. So we'll see. Gold had a decent drop too, I think. Yeah. Gold definitely looks more bullish though. It kind of just had a healthy pullback, really. All right, market opens in 5 minutes. Let's see what we get. We're sitting below VWAP and point of control, so kind of just watching for a couple levels of confluence. This would be interesting if we come up here, retrace the news a little bit, reject yesterday's point of control and VWAP, and maybe come back down to previous day low. That's a possibility. Or if we come down first and maybe a little liquidity sweep and move up. Those are kind of the scenarios I'd be watching for. Hope is not a strategy. Good one. I never said it was a strategy. Nope, I don't trade ICT. Fair value is just another word for yesterday's point of control. So point of control, you can call it fair value because that's just basically where most of the previous day's transactions happened. So that's where buyers and sellers agreed on a fair price. I have 10 a.m. on Financial Juice. It says Trump speaks at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then it says Trump makes an announcement at 2:30. But Financial Juice says he speaks at 10 o'clock. Getting a nice little bounce for now. Do I have recommendations for a course to learn? I don't. So I really just put everything together through YouTube videos, watching YouTube. That's what I would recommend. I did put together something in my Discord. I have a premium group with some videos there. But you can also find a lot of information on YouTube. That's where I learned. Solid bounce off of that news drop. All right, market's open. Let's see what we get. Looking like it might be wanting to go down. Not a ton of momentum behind it though, so kind of seems like it's trying to process what just happened with the news. All right, gonna watch and see if it does continue higher. I'm gonna watch this area at like 585 to 590-ish. See if it comes up there and rejects. It might not even come up there though. Yeah, definitely a kind of a slow, choppy open. Like I said, it kind of seems like it's wanting to process what just came out. And we do have another round of news in 13 minutes, so that could be a factor. Alrighty, moving on up. ES is kind of coming up to that point of control VWAP area that I was saying I was watching on NQ. Kind of a sleepy feeling open. Coming back down, I don't like the idea of a short directly from there. Although this is kind of a resistance zone that I have. But neither ES nor NQ came all the way up to the level I was watching. So, gonna stay patient because of a couple reasons. Didn't hit the level I was watching and news in 10 minutes, so. What are you guys thinking in the chat in terms of direction? I know a couple people are saying lower today. That's kind of what I'm thinking with how many times we retested that previous day high and then had that big rejection. All right, ES is kind of slowly inching its way up to that point of control VWAP level. But now that we're getting closer and closer to that news release, might be best to wait. The one coming up in 8 minutes is PMI. S&P services PMI. And then Trump after that. Woo! That's always my favorite. Trading while Trump's talking. Ooh, somebody's saying higher. Yeah. Definitely mixed signals. Because this right here, I agree with you. ES is at a decent support area. It's holding above yesterday's value area low. If it breaks above this 68.40 level on ES, I could see us going higher. But NQ is kind of floating in the middle of some of the levels that I have. One thing we could do to kind of see the shift of momentum, I like to anchor VWAPs. So this we can anchor from the low of today. And if we start to show some closure below that level, buyers could be done. Still chopping around in that New York range from the New York Open. All right. That might be the drop. Or just go back into the range. Go back into the chop. Goodness. Not something I want to be trading right now. This is ugly. It's a good day to stay patient. Wait and see what the market brings. What is my charting software? I have TradingView. That's what I'm using. Three minutes until news. ES did come up to VWAP, the overnight session VWAP, and rejected. That was a pretty clean rejection, but NQ didn't even come close. So I don't like that they're not really in sync and honestly just chopping around. Nothing looks clean. While we're waiting for news and for the market to figure out what it wants to do, you guys, did you guys see the new TradeDay accounts that they just released? They just announced it today, this morning, about 45 minutes ago. And if you were in my Discord, I did post about the rules and accounts and everything last night because they shared it with the affiliates. So I had the info and I leaked it. But I'm pretty excited. So it's a 3-day eval, 3 days to pass the eval, 40% consistency. But then after you pass the eval, you choose your funded path. So you can choose either daily payouts or you can choose 5 days to pay out, but with a larger cap. So pretty cool options. I'm excited about them. News coming in a minute. Let's go. G-Man's back. G-Man, you didn't miss anything. I think the market is trying to digest the big drop from earlier news and then waiting for more news to come. Just chopping around, probably blowing people's accounts. Hopefully none of you guys, everyone in the chat, you're being safe, right? Hopefully you guys aren't trying to trade this. It's yucky. Wait, that was it? That was the news we were waiting for? Where's the move? It gave us nothing. Oh, another thing on the TradeDay account, you guys. The 50K account, which was what I normally trade, the eval is a $2,500 profit target instead of the normal $3,000. So that's kind of cool. The 100K and the 150K are the normal 6K and 9K profit targets. So those are the same as standards. But 2,500 for 50K, that's cool. All right, the 15-minute opening range is set. And really, I mean, volume has just died. Like you can see it on the bottom of my screen. Fell off a cliff. All right, Waffles, have a good day. See ya. I'm watching ES over here, and it's definitely holding below VWAP. Kind of looking weak, looking a little droopy. I just don't like the NQ is not at VWAP, so I see that there's like room to go higher before rejecting if it is gonna drop. So still don't see anything that I love right now. Well, since NQ and ES, I feel like I'm poking a dead animal with a stick. Let's see if gold's doing anything. Yeah, gold almost had a little double top there. Maybe coming back down to VWAP area. Still kind of looks a little choppy too, though. The value areas that I have marked off, that is from yesterday's New York session. The value area high, point of control, and value area low, that's from yesterday. YM, is that the one? Is that the one to be trading? Yeah, it's definitely moving more than the others. What the heck? Yeah, that's some good volatility compared to what we're seeing on the others. All right, starting to make its way down to the opening range low. This is not an area I would love to take along like straight off the low. If it grabs this liquidity from the news drop, possibly, if it has a strong bounce there. Otherwise, it might continue all the way down to this previous day low at 322-ish. Just chopping back into the range for now. Going back to gold. Gold's coming down to VWAP. We're going to get a little bounce here. Or not. All right, here we go again. Coming back down to that opening range low. Let's see what happens. So like I said, I wouldn't want to take a trade right off the low. If it grabs this liquidity over here to the left and has a strong bounce, maybe. But it might come all the way down to previous day low. Gonna stay patient. Might even take a short if it looks like it's going to continue down, because that's a long way down. That's a 100-point drop. I'm going to watch and see how it reacts at this liquidity right here and see if it bounces. Coming back up. If it comes up to New York anchored VWAP and rejects from there, that might be a good risk to reward on a short if it comes somewhere up here and potentially target all the way down to previous day low. Let's see if it comes up there and what kind of reaction. Because now we also have a potential fake breakout to the downside. This thing could go all the way back up to the top of the range too. So gonna stay patient, be careful here. See how this next candle closes. If we get a strong rejection, might enter short. ES is right at that New York anchored VWAP too. Still back in the chop. Thinking about a short here. I just want to get some confirmation that sellers are going to step back in. So far, it's not looking like it. What are we gonna do? Haven't entered anything yet, just watching. Still chopping around VWAP, not really showing signs of a strong rejection yet. We do have another round of PMI numbers in 2 minutes. Well, today is definitely a test of patience, huh? Good day to be sitting on hands. All right, here's the news. Let's see what happens. Good thing I didn't enter that short. Nice. All right, ES came back up to the overnight VWAP. Still just not cleanly touching any levels. Like it's not up to the top of the range yet. NQ's not at VWAP. I don't see any clear trades yet. Should we go back to gold? Find something that's more entertaining? Gold's bouncing off a little support zone I had drawn up. That red anchored VWAP, I think. Oh no, it was from a previous low. I can delete that one, that's old. All right, I guess we are moving up. Finally got the momentum it needed to continue. ES is breaking outside the top of the opening range now, but kind of stuck in between the two VWAPs. This is a kind of a deciding zone for me. If we're gonna continue being bullish today, it needs to break and hold above the 68.40 level. And then for NQ, it'd be like 25,550-ish. If it breaks and holds above there, could be looking for some long continuation. Or this could be the spot that it rejects. So that's what I'm watching for. Let's see what happens here. Definitely looks strong. One minute left on this 5-minute candle closure. looks like this candle is going to close strong. So risk to reward wise, if we enter here, 37-point stop. If we put it below the opening range high, I would target somewhere around value area high. Not bad. That's a 2-to-1. See if it retraces a little bit. Coming back down to VWAP. Retesting that opening range high a little bit. Let's see where it goes. Is it gonna hold here? It's gotta buy back up if I'm interested in taking a long. I don't like that. Come on. I don't like it. I want buyers to step in, be more aggressive with it. It had that like good momentum drive up, and then it kind of stalled. This is the spot where it needs to hold. Otherwise, we could have a heavy drop back down. All right, came back down to the anchored VWAP. Looking kind of ugly, honestly. Let's see if it holds above this anchored VWAP and we close back outside of the range. Then I'd be a little bit more interested in it. Still kind of stuck below that opening range high. DS, I reread your comment. I didn't understand that you had a question earlier. So what I do is I go to the 1 minute chart and then I grab this anchored VWAP tool right here under projections. So click on that and then I set it at the 8:30 candle, 8:30 Central, so 9:30 Eastern. And that's how it anchors it for the session. And you can anchor it wherever, like if you want to anchor the low of day or high of day or a news candle, different spots. Yeah, I'm not feeling that long. I had that up as a trading idea, but I'm not seeing anything that I feel great about today, guys. Could be the long right here, bouncing off of VWAP. Looks like it might go, honestly. I'm not in it though. I don't love the choppiness. It might go up. All right, breaking back outside of the opening range. I hope someone took that long. That was a super clean bounce off of the New York anchored VWAP and then continuation up. Definitely could be one of those scenarios where I should have just been a robot and taken the trade because I know my stats on the trade. I don't know, it just didn't look good. Got in my own way. So at this point, it is rejecting VWAP. Pretty strong rejection there. DS, yeah, if you just zoom into the 1 minute candle, you can touch any point of that candle and it'll just anchor it from that candle, any point that you touch. The 1 minute candle makes it a little bit more accurate though, instead of the 5 minute or another time frame. I don't love the long opportunity here just because it keeps rejecting VWAP, but wouldn't necessarily want to short yet. Either way, just choppy. ES is kind of stuck in the same VWAP area too. Still not sold on it, yeah. Yeah, it's in a zone right now where I could make arguments for both sides. I would just be taking a 50-50 shot if I took a position right now. Kind of leaning towards shorts. All right, I'm taking a small position short here. If we break past the New York anchor VWAP and get confirmation, then I will add to it. So as of now, 510.75 is my entry. It's a small position though. I'm gonna add if we get confirmation on the breakdown below VWAP, because right now it's kind of just chopping in between the two. And it could just as easily bounce off of that VWAP and continue up. So I'm not going to give it that much room. Yep. Looks like it might be bouncing up. Where are we headed, NQ? What are you going to do? All right, I closed that one out. Looks like it might be heading back up. Or at least, if it is going to short, I'll wait until it actually does close below that anchor VWAP. For now, looks like it's moving up. Let's see if we can actually break that zone this time. Hold up above 550. This is ugly, you guys. I hope someone's making money on this thing. Yeah, it's definitely inching towards being bullish. It's just, yeah, slow and painful to watch. I agree. It also could be just trapping people and all of a sudden it dumps. I think that's what's making me nervous about longs. I just feel like that's coming. If it breaks and holds above this level where it's been rejecting though, 550, 560-ish, there's a lot of room to retrace back up to even just this news candle at 25, 640. ES broke and held above VWAP convincingly. If NQ follows, could be headed back up. But the chop continues. It's looking like it's trying to hold yesterday's value area low. In the game plan that I put together last night, this was the zone. It's kind of where we're hovering right now. This green arrow is what I said, like if it holds above 530-ish, I'd be looking for long continuation. That's what we're fighting with right now. It's not looking very strong though. Still playing around in the middle of the range. All right, so this is our initial balance high. Initial balance low. Let's see what we get, you guys. Coming back down to that anchored VWAP. Is it gonna break through this time? Oh my goodness, you guys. What the heck? Well, there she goes. What in the world? That was just ugliness all around. Not fair. It totally just made it seem like it was gonna drop big time and then a big old pop. All right, well, we are back at initial balance high. Kind of looks like we might be getting continuation. Let's see what happens at this initial balance high. I get the feeling we're not going to be rejecting after that big old jump up. Just as you typed it, you went long? Oh man, G-Man, that was good timing. Yeah, I saw your comment earlier that VWAP was lining up. Good entry, good for you, man. All right, so it's breaking out to the upside, which is kind of what I was expecting after that big pump. So at this point, I feel like it could continue to at least value area high, if not previous day high, which is where it was kind of hitting resistance all night. ES is already at yesterday's value area high. We got a runner. She's gone. Woo! Can't be chasing this now. All right, Jeff. Good trading. Have a good day. Oh, I didn't see that, Teach Miss. He said ADP news just came out. Employment is lower than expected, so the chance of rate cuts is higher. That's definitely a reason for the markets to jump up like that. So we're sitting at yesterday's point of control. I don't see that as an area that will stop, but we could shop around here for a little bit before continuing higher. I'm thinking value area high, if you're in a long, value area high and previous day high would be good targets. 640-ish, and then 669, 670. Coming back down to retest that IB high. Let's see if it holds above. If it drops below, could be a failed auction. I don't love that idea though. I would lean more towards continuation up. Yeah, I like that, Verisat. The round number strategy. It works, especially if you're a scalper. For what you do, just trying to grab a couple quick points. Those round psychological numbers, you can definitely scalp off of those. There's almost, I don't want to say always, I don't like saying always or never, but quite often there's a reaction at those round numbers. Something about Microsoft came out that they haven't lowered sales quotas for salespeople. That was a red announcement on Financial Juice. I don't know if that's good news or bad news, but that could have something to do with this movement too. Oh, cool. So you guys, the Tradify accounts I was talking about, they have a launch sale right now. I think he's only going to have it for the next day or two, but it's 40% off their new select accounts. So I think it's like $95 for the 50K account. And that's the one where it's 3 days of an eval, and then you can choose daily payouts or 5 days to a payout, but with a higher cap. It's a $3,000 cap for the 50K account, and then higher for the bigger accounts, obviously. But it's 40% off right now. You can use code Krista for that. I would love you forever. Seriously though, I'm excited about those accounts. After I get off here with you guys, I'll be loading up on some. All right, looks like it's gonna hold that initial balance high. I did snag that retest. I'm gonna try to hold up to previous day high. See how high this thing goes. G-Man, I thought you said you got in a long on NQ earlier when you were talking about VWAP lining up with the fibs. Did you get out of that one already? Come on, break through this point of control. Oh, yeah, that happened super fast, for sure. Charles, the Tradify accounts, you just select the select account, and then after you pass the eval, that's when you choose your path to funded. So everyone has the same eval rules, and then after you finish the eval, they'll give you a choice if you want to do the flex or the daily. And I'm torn on what I want to do. I love the idea of daily payouts, but to be totally transparent with you guys, like it's $1,000 cap I always talk in the 50K numbers, 50K account numbers. So it's $1,000 cap per account. But realistically, I mean, am I going to trade and get $1,000 every day? I think I'm just in my brain like excited about, ooh, $1,000 every day. But I need to be realistic about it. Also, knowing myself, when I have the opportunity to do daily payouts, I kind of rush it. So I could see myself where, like, as soon as I pass the eval, I'll just trade like crazy and try to hit that buffer number really fast so I can get a payout immediately, day one, and then I'll end up blowing the account. So I think the flex option works better for me mentally, because it would force me to slow down, knowing that, okay, I need to trade at least 5 days before I get a payout, and that would get me into the right mindset of just taking it slow. So, plus there's a higher payout cap on that one. You can get $3,000 per account, so potentially more upside. I think I'm leaning towards the flex, but we'll see. Once I pass the eval, I'll make the decision at that point. Yeah, Verisided's dumb. Like, I know that I need to take it slow. But I think I just see green when I see daily payouts. And I'm like, I'm going to get it today. And then I trade like a dummy and blow it. So I like the idea of having those kind of rules in place where I have to take at least 5 days and it forces me to slow down. I think I would trade better if I had that kind of handcuff in place, I guess, if you want to call it that. Handcuff is not a very good word, though, because they're going to pay you out 3 times more. It's a good trade-off. Well, like I said a couple minutes ago, I figured this point of control area would be a chop zone. It's going to struggle to get through it. Hopefully this is just a little consolidation and then we're just going to break out and go up to that value area high. If we do get past this 600 level, 640 would be the next area I would set targets, and then previous day high 671, 670. If we ever make it past the 600 level, though, you're done with your chopped salad for the day. Have a good one, Stockfather. Choppy, choppy. I just realized I don't have my TradeDay connected to my trading view, so you guys can't see the position, but I have my stop loss set at 25,570, right below initial balance high, to give it a chance to maybe come back down and retest, but I'd like to see continuation up. G-Man, you thinking gold's gonna drop? This whole morning's looking kind of choppy and gross. I know YM looked good earlier. If you had gotten in along at the open on YM, you could be in a good spot, but we would have had to weather quite a storm of pullbacks. All right, that hit my stop loss at break even. I don't like what I'm seeing today, guys. I may just stop trading. This is ugly. Now it's looking like it wants to go back below initial balance, which could be a failed auction. Or it's just going to chop around that level and try to blow more accounts. Yeah, I did. Verisat got in on that breakout of IB high and retest, but I had my stop loss at break even, so stopped me out. There's a little bounce off of VWAP. Let's see if it gets back up above initial balance high. Yeah, this is just dumb, you guys. I'm not going to trade this. It looked like it was going to break out. Now it's coming back down, but it's bouncing off of VWAP. Like, I don't know what it's doing. I took one loss today and one break even. I think I'm going to call it there. This was a tough day to trade. Lots of different news stuff going on and super choppy. All right. come hang out in Discord if you guys want to keep trading. Share your trades. Tell us what you're looking for. If you do decide to go check out the Tradeify accounts, if you have questions, feel free to message me. Code Krista, you know what's up. Otherwise, you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see ya tomorrow. Take care, guys.